Okay, go for it, Ian.
All right. What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, as you know, and this is the Soccer Comic Rant. And you can see Neil in the background. We are using technology to Skype him in. He's in San Diego and couldn't make it out. And but I just want to, there's always formalities when I start the podcast. This is a crazy episode because I have so many tabs open, which means there's so many things to cover. But first things first, this podcast, you can listen to it at allthingscomedy.com. And if you go to allthingscomedy.com, there's a host of comics there with their own podcasts. Bill Burr, Al Magical Cal, Felipe Esparza, Sam Tripoli, the late, great Brody Stevens had a podcast on here too. And just, you know, there's just so many people that have podcasts. Bert Kreischer, Bert and Bill do a podcast now. Dean Del Rey's on here. So, you know, come through, go to All Things Comedy, check out all the comics doing podcasts on there. And also, this podcast, if you're watching it, you know it's on YouTube and you know where to get it. You can go to Ian Edwards or Ian Soccer Comic Rant Edwards and check it out. If you don't know and you're just listening, you can also go there and watch it. And, you know, like, subscribe, smash the like button, all that shit that they tell you to do. Do that for me. And only if you enjoy the podcast, and tell some people if you do. I got a lot of people saying that they enjoy the podcast, so great. You know, I guess I'm doing something right. And so our sponsor is On the Volley Apparel. So let me go to that tab, open that up. Well, I thought I'd open that tab up. No, there it is, right there. Well, now it's not on screen because Neil is, but we don't. I just realized that. But listen, go to On the Volley Apparel, and they have tanks, tops, tees, hoodies, jerseys, hats for men and women. And I have on like a sweatshirt, and this is the Tribe Called Quest joint. And, you know, the logos on their shirts and their T-shirts and their tanks are like a combo of hip hop and soccer. So yeah, that's like my two loves. So it's a perfect website for me to go and get gear. Use my promo code Comic Rant, get 20% off. And a lot of this is dope. They have a Wu-Tang shirt there. They have a bunch of stuff. Just go there, use my promo code Comic Rant. And yesterday I went to the MLS game. I went to see LAFC versus Philadelphia, and I wore the OTV, the Drake soccer mashup sweatshirt, just like this. So go to onthevolleyapparel.com, use my promo code Comic Rant, get 20% off. I can't read that, Neil. What's that?
onthevolleyapparel.com. I'm trying to help you out.
Nice try, thanks. Now do it. Now you're do it now. Hold it up.
You guys see it?
Yeah, now I see it. Yeah. Like clear as day. All right, and that's Neil Chakravarty. He's normally in the studio, but he's home today. Coronavirus style. He's Skyping in. This is one way to avoid getting sick. And so listen, I told him, hey man, I'd love to have you on the podcast, but I don't want you near me. So we Skyped in, and as a matter of fact, the crazy thing is he called me on the way to do the podcast, and I was like, and we're talking football. I'm like, why don't you just? I walked in and I said, why don't you just call? And then we realized there's technology here. You can Skype, and so Neil Chakravarty, stand-up comic and Chelsea fan. What's up, Neil?
Thanks for having me on, Jan. So yeah, I definitely did look like patient zero. You had to have me on video.
You feel like you look sick on the video?
Yeah. I do.
You do? I wouldn't claim that, but all right, if that's what you want to do, all right, that's on you.
Well, as long as I'm on video, I really shouldn't be of any trouble to anybody.
Listen, I don't even trust video. I blocked this girl from texting me because she had a cough. I'm not taking any chances. Also, for help with the whole thing. Producer Aaron Brungardt is here today. What's up, Aaron?
What's up, Ian?
Your voice sounded mad deep and smooth. he had the player laugh too. What's up, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You good?
I'm coronavirus free, so that's cool.
Oh yeah. I almost want to just get it and defeat it and then be inoculated. I might just fly to China to get it over with and then come back and then be like, yo, and then be the only one if they shut everything down here that's able to like walk around outside. I'm a human hazmat suit. But yeah. So, and speaking of the coronavirus, one of the first things I want to talk about today is the coronavirus. And as Neil was telling me on my way here, the Italian Prime Minister announces indefinite suspension of Serie amid coronavirus chaos. So this is crazy that a soccer league has suspended its games, you know, and this is how dangerous people think this is. That like soccer doesn't stop for the death of like some of its biggest stars. Sometimes they'll just say he would have wanted us to play, you know. But now, over the threat of something, this threat must be so real that they shut it down. Right, so what do you both think about this, Aaron and Neil?
Yeah, I mean, we've had soccer players dying on the field and the game continuing.
Yes, I've watched those games.
Yeah. So, I mean, but you know, if what they're saying in Italy is that the entire country right now is in lockdown, so it kind of makes sense that you're not going to have any sort of public events.
I mean, they played.
And,
go ahead.
I mean, the real thing that we should be looking at is it kind of seems inevitable for it to happen across all leagues now.
Yeah. So the thing that is kind of throwing me is, so this Italy suspended their games, right? But Juventus is still in the Champions League. So are they going to play Champions League games and just not the league games? Yeah,
I think they're playing away though. Let me just look, because there's a couple of Champions League games that are supposed to happen this week, and some of them are going to happen behind closed doors. The PSG Dortmund game and the Chelsea Bayern game is going to happen behind closed doors now in Germany.
Oh, for real? Oh,
yes.
Shit. And what about when Juventus? Well, that's Juventus supposed to play Lyon like 2 weeks from now.
Okay,
or next week.
They'll have more clarity by then.
Yeah. So this is unprecedented.
This is unprecedented, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And what do you think about this, Aaron? Like, are you panicked at all, or how are you feeling? Like, do you want to stop working and just chill for a minute, let this thing blow over? Like, what's the deal?
No, I mean, I'm certainly worried about. I mean, if leagues are going to start canceling games, I mean, like, baseball season's about to start.
Right.
I'm supposed to go to like 3 new ballparks this year. Like
30?
Three of the 30. You know, because I'm trying to cross them all off my list. So I am worried about that if it gets to that point where those games will be canceled or postponed or played without fans. Like, yeah, that would be horrendous.
Yeah. The coronavirus is worse than VAR. Jesus. So here's the thing too, Aaron and Neil, when he gets back, he keeps disappearing. It's so hilarious.
I'm trying to fix the light.
Oh, okay. The light's fine, man.
That's fine?
Yeah, the light's fine. The people have already seen you. You look how you look. You look like an Indian Hitler. All right? So it just is what it is. So
yeah.
So here's the thing. So I was listening to like one of the sports shows on the way up here, and Liverpool has dropped 4 points all season. They're on track to win the league, and they're the first like game I want to talk about this week. And they beat Bournemouth this weekend. You know, after losing, Liverpool lost like 3 to 4 games in a row. They lost to Chelsea. They lost in the Champions League. They lost to Watford, and I think they lost something else too before they won this weekend. But
I mean, I think they came close to losing the Premier League game before Watford, but they didn't actually lose it. But they came pretty close.
Right. So they lost 3 games in a row, and then they got back on the winning track. So they lost at least 3 games for sure. But you know, somebody was saying, what if they win, but these fans have been waiting 30 years for their team to win the league, and the coronavirus, like that game might be played behind closed doors, and that trophy might be presented in front of no one. So the crazy irony that Liverpool finally gets their shit together in a year where the world is falling apart, and this moment of joy, like you're accepting a trophy that your whole club, your fans have been waiting for you to get for 30 years in the middle of a pandemic. So it's like, how can you even celebrate this thing? Like nope, you're holding the trophy, you're gonna empty stadium, and you're firing, like you're standing on that podium, they're firing the fireworks in front of an empty, nobody's there. Your family might not even be able to be there.
Nobody's there to set up the fireworks.
Yeah, nobody's there. Like the players have to light their own fireworks.
Yeah. Jordan Henderson, or like Shaqiri, because he's not playing anyways.
Yeah, Shaqiri ain't doing shit.
Shaqiri and Lovren are going to have to light it up.
Yeah, Lovren, you don't want Lovren around the fireworks. He might fuck shit up.
Oh, yeah.
But that is just a bananas prospect, man. For like I don't even know if that's irony. I don't know if it's like it's just crazy. But the Italian thing, there's 463 people in Italy have died from the coronavirus, and there's 9,172 infections, and the government is shutting everything down and in North Italy, and all public gatherings are canceled, and movement is restricted and just segregated to like work and emergency services. So Italy suspends their league. They can't pick it up later in the summer because there's Euros. So what happened?
Well, that's what they're saying. They might have to put off the Euros by another year.
Okay.
So the Euros are going to happen in next summer if they have to take off the leagues, say, in June. And then finish the league, say, in June or July.
Right.
The thing is, nobody knows. You don't know if this is a 2-week thing or a 2-month thing or like an 8-month thing till they finally get those vaccines in.
Right.
Nobody really knows.
Do they have a vaccine yet?
They don't. And the estimate is between a year to 18 months to get a vaccine.
Right. So the world is just going to be on hold. Like the only time this stuff happens, like when there's like canceling the leagues, is like when there's like a war, and this is technically a war because people are dying.
A war.
Yeah.
True.
So it's a war and a disease we created by doing shit we ain't supposed to do. But all right, everybody, be careful out there, and there's just going to be a lot of, like, even as a comic, like I was just saying this weekend, like they might start canceling shows, but since they haven't canceled any yet, just go to Side Splitters this weekend. That's where I'm going to be. But it's in Tampa, yeah. Tampa's good right now as far as I know. So as far as as comic, they might have to start canceling shows. People might not be going out, period. The only people who are going to gain from this when everybody's just home is Netflix and Disney Plus. You know what I mean? And so get some stock in Disney Plus or Disney and Netflix right now. And I might have to become a cam girl or something just to make ends meet, while this shit pans, I hope you like no titties, because that's what I got. You know what I'm saying? But
the live stream of the roommates.
yeah. We'll ramp up these episodes.
You can just set up a real time. You can just set up a real time camera 24/7 in
my place. Yeah. So just have like real live roommates. Yeah. Good idea. So let's go to the league and see what's up. Liverpool played Bournemouth, and they won this week. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are saying that like Liverpool barely won this game, but you're playing Bournemouth. They're at the bottom of the table too. They're playing more desperate.
Fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting for their lives. So you're going to get some competition from them. And what I see from Liverpool is they played better than they played last week against Watford. And they showed that will to win when they went down 1-0. And Mane scored and Salah scored. And Salah, Mane got an assist from... And Salah got an assist from Mane. But I don't think they were sloppy. I just think they're a little tired. Like, they've been going 200% all season. Yeah. And I just think it's just tough to keep the energy level up that high. So it's kind of, you could see the reserves are low. So, but this is still an amazing team. They've dropped 4 points out of, let me go back to, and you could go ahead and talk.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying this for a while now, that if Liverpool has one weakness, it's their squad depth. And that being the case, like there's some between that front three and the backup front three. That's not the case with Manchester City. And Klopp's system anyway is a very aggressive, very high energy, high tempo system. So you imagine the number of miles these guys are putting themselves through.
Yeah.
So there was gonna be, just a physical dip, if not anything else.
Right.
And it's happened at this time of the season, and then you go and play 90 minutes against probably one of the most brutal Atletico.
Mm-hmm.
So that can't be easy on your body. So. If I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be like rather have it at this time of the season than any other time, because you've almost got the Premier League trophy, the trophy you wanted for 30 years.
Right.
Now, barring a pandemic, you should have your hands on it very soon.
What if there is a pandemic, right? So not what if there is a pandemic. What if England suspends games? Should they just give whoever's in the lead the title? Do they suspend the league and then pick it back up later on, just like Italy might do? And then how much might that throw momentum off? You have a bunch of people who are in shape who are not going to be able to work out, and then, hey, let's get back to the season that we ended a month or so ago and know everything that you knew and be in the form that you were. And it's the craziest thing, because then some of the teams that were at the bottom might take the break, rejuvenate, especially like Villa, who lost today, and they have McGinn, he's injured. It will give a lot of the teams who are suffering from injuries a chance to get their players back if there's a break. And you're saying Chelsea, and that might just, like, injuries are part of every season. You have to calculate them in, and it's the difference between whether somebody wins the league, whether somebody gets relegated, and to take a break and to have some teams come back at full strength and start from the break to end the season. If they do it that way, will change everything, and that's just bananas.
Yeah, I mean, I would think from a moral thing, it makes sense to pick it up from where it is right now, because you want every team playing each other twice, home and away.
Right.
Because if you just give Liverpool the trophy right now, and just stop the league right now, and the results stand at the stand, for example, like the top 4 race, right? You guys have already, like United has already played Liverpool and City. Chelsea has not played Liverpool and City.
Right.
So if you stop the league right now and the top 4 is the top 4, United is at a disadvantage because of how the fixtures list is.
Right.
So I would think, like, just suspend it, pick it up from where the Euros can wait. Right. Nobody likes the Euros anyways.
I do. I love them.
Like, all our players keep getting injured in these international tournaments.
Yeah, but players aspire to play for their country. Countries aspire to win, like, a national trophy. So, I don't know. I like the Euros. You're just such a club guy, and India's team is shit. So, of course, you hate the Euros. Like, there's no reason for you to like any international soccer competition.
I like the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's no reason for you to like the Euros because your players go out and get injured, and then Chelsea suffers. Aaron, Aaron, you're into basketball?
Baseball.
All right. So I knew you were into baseball. I was just wondering, do you remember the year when in NBA when they had a short season for something? Was it the strike?
Yeah, I think there was a strike at some point.
And
95, like the year Jordan went out. There was a strike.
So there's a strike. So I wonder. I know I was into basketball then, but I can't remember. But I just know there was a short season. They actually kind of call it the asterisk season or something like that. But it was a season. Maybe the season started late because of a strike.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what
they
it
definitely had a champion because the Rockets won, I think, 2 years in a row while Jordan was out.
Yeah. So maybe that's what it was. There was a strike, I think. And if I'm wrong, I'm open to be corrected. And then the season started late, and then they had to truncate the game. So I guess I don't know if they made everybody play everybody, or like some teams didn't get to play people as much as possible. But I think that the leagues are going to do what's financially viable for them. So if it's whether to finish the season. And it depends on, I think whatever is going to make them the most money after losing a bunch of money, they're going to do. So whether it's to continue the season or they feel like, all right, let's end it here so that we could start the new season when we're supposed to start the new season and make the new season money because we can get more money from that. I think that's what the league's going to do.
I think every game has a lot of TV money riding on it, so they will want those extra games.
Yeah? All right. Yeah,
if you're losing like about 10 into 9, 10 rounds, or around 100 games, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah. But a lot of people and a lot of things are going to lose money. Only if you have, the only way you can make money right now is if you have Purell stocked up in your living room selling it for $300 a bottle. That's the only way, you're going to come up right now. And you got toilet tissue or soap. Yeah. And you sell masks, those are the people that's going to come up from this thing. But yeah, it's crazy the prospect of Liverpool like winning this thing, but not being able to collect this trophy in front of their fans. And
fans are crazy, man. Like, I would imagine like Liverpool being such a the club being such a big part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
If they're gonna have they'll show up for something.
And no parade, bro.
Yeah, no parade. Yeah,
no parade. Like, you haven't won the trophy in 30 years. You win the trophy, no parade, no confetti, no drinking. Like, football is England's culture right now. For the last that is so crazy. And so I'm pretty unfathomable.
I think so.
You think what?
Well, the weird thing is that I would imagine if you're an old time, a long time fan of Liverpool, you would want to be there. But then those long time fans are the same people who are so vulnerable right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, if you're over 30, you suffered this long. Like, what is your choice? Risk dying, celebrating this trophy that, because football is your life, or stay home and be like, all right, we won, that's cool. And so, I wonder what lifelong fans, like, there's probably, how do millennial fans feel, Gen X fans feel, and people who are over 50 or over 30 and have been waiting a long time for this thing. How do you feel? Would love to really hear from you. Another game that was played this week. The second at the top of the table is Man City. And Man City played Man United. And Manchester is red, baby. And somehow Solskjaer pulled this off. And last week, I said we're not going to win, because when I feel we're going to win a game, I feel like we lose. So I have to be kind of protecting myself and not getting optimistic about a game we could just definitely lose. This team is definitely better than us. But, it's tough to root for your team in games like this. Like, you just don't want to lose, man. Like, I just didn't want to lose going in. And this was just, I didn't even watch this game when it was played. I slept and watched. I just had to be ready to watch this shit later on. That's how much this game meant to me, and just winning this game, because we need the 3 points, but we're playing against the champions of last year. And we've already beat them. We played them 3 times already before this year, and this would be the 4th, and we beat them twice. So what are the odds of us like beating them 3 times, a team like this, in the same year, in the same season? But we won yesterday, and we set up really defensively, 3 at the back, which is really 5 at the back, because those other 2 guys, Wan Bissaka and Williams, they're it's like, hey man, we're gonna make it so hard for you to score on us. And but and Wan Bissaka is starting to go forward a little bit, but he's definitely more defensive. He locked up Sterling. That duel between him, and he canceled Sterling. Sterling might as well have had Me Too charges. He got shut down like he was a Weinstein yesterday.
That's kind of been Sterling's season though so far. He's been pretty. It's gone kind of slightly under the radar, but he's been pretty average this season.
He started out good.
He got like 5 goals in the first 6 games, but which only makes the rest of the season look even worse, because he's only got around another 7 goals and assists in the last, say, 25 games.
Well, let me see. Well, the thing is, I think the whole team is underperforming this season compared to their standard. So it's not just a Sterling thing. It's a everybody thing, And I'm going to see if I can find out how many goals Sterling has.
He's got 11 goals and 1 assist.
Which
ain't
bad. Yeah.
Well, it's way below his standard.
Last year he had 17 goals. So he's 6 off with how many games left?
But he's got 11 goals and 1 assist, so that's 12 goal contributions. For perspective, Willian has 10.
Yeah, I just don't know how many goals. I don't know how many assists he had last year.
Let me check. He had 17 and 10. He had 27 in all last year.
He had what?
17 goals and 10 assists.
And 10 assists last year. And then, but if you look at his other competitions, like EFL Cup, he's got. Are these no goals? No go. He has other competitions. He has 3 in the EFL, 0 in the FA, 5 in the Champions League. So, it's going to be tough for him to catch up. But I feel like the whole team has kind of fallen off.
So here's the thing. So Sterling has 11 goals and 1 assist. He got 5 of those goals in the first 3 games. So in the last 26 games, he's got 6 goals and 1 assist in 26 games. That is really, really bad.
I mean, but that's goals, though. It's like, it's like Vardy. They were saying Vardy hadn't scored in like he scored 2 today, but he hadn't scored since like 7 games, something like that. And then he comes on, scores a penalty, then he scores another one, and then the interviewer was like, are you happy and more confident now that you broke your goal drought? And he said, nah, that's how goals are. You have a flood, and then you just want to keep playing so you can, like Salah's goals are down, and Vardy's goals are down, or he had a drought, but he's leading the league. I would say Salah's, even though Liverpool at the top of the table, I think Salah's right behind him, and his goal numbers are down. It's like, is it a low individual goal scoring season for just everyone at this point? Or is that my imagination?
Well, I think in a lot of these teams, what's happening is the goals are getting shared.
Right. Like Liverpool, they're definitely getting shared.
Yeah. So, but that's why you'll see, even if the goals are not that high, the assist numbers are kind of making up for it. Because, like, I'm creating for you, you're creating for me.
Right.
But what I'm saying with Sterling is neither is happening. He's not impacting, creating chances, or scoring himself.
And he was injured for a minute, too. He hadn't played in how many games?
Yeah, I think he missed a few games.
He missed a few games, so he was injured. And he's normally not injured. He's normally, like, I feel like last season he played like a lot of games.
He's played like 23 games though. Yeah, he's missed about 5 games.
Yeah, that's enough to get 6 goals. Yeah. So we'll see. And then listen, so he's got 11 at this point, right? He missed 6 games, right? He's only 6 off last season's amount of goals. He's definitely down in assists, but it calculates into still being on track for last season, at least scoring wise.
It'll be tough because it's like the streak he's on is really bad. But yeah, he can make up for it. Yeah. If he ends the season like how he started it, he can definitely make up for it.
He'll be fine. He doesn't have to play Wan Bissaka anymore this season. He's good. Yeah, he's good now. The Wan Bissaka thing is over. Yeah. It's not like he has to face him again.
Yeah.
Let me just.
But that was a really impressive performance. I think one thing I've noticed about United in the last maybe a couple of months is the defense has become pretty secure, and that really helps.
The difference, like, what do you mean?
The defense, like your defense record has been
you said defense, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I know you guys aren't scoring a lot of goals, but then you don't need to score a lot of goals if you're rock solid at the back.
Yeah, I mean, we're good once De Gea doesn't like have 7 errors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
like the one he had like against Everton the week. Jesus Christ! Yeah. But he made up for it. I'm not gonna shit on him that hard. But our defense has been good. I think we have like 7 clean sheets or something, or 8 in the last 10 or 9. And
crazy.
Say again. And
that's crazy.
And we would have had more if, we would have had more if De Gea didn't mess up last week. But
yeah.
But like just running through this team, Fred, unbelievable, and it's a mix. Here's the thing with Fred. Like, we didn't buy Bruno early. We didn't buy Bruno in the summer when we should have, and we had injuries. Yeah. Pogba got injured, and then Fred has played himself into like an international. He can start for Brazil, and nobody have a problem with it. So he's played himself into like first on the starting sheet. Like last week, he put the ball through somebody's legs. This week he put the ball through a Man City player's legs and ran around and got it. Yeah. He's just. I want to call Fred, nickname him the Roomba, because you know you have a Roomba, you put it on the floor and it just goes and cleans up all the dust and just automatic. Yeah. And that's what he does. Like this guy did not have the pace to play in this league when he first got on the field for us last season. Now he's like, I said, how is he up front when I just saw him back there? And he's helping Wan Bissaka, and he's just all over the place. And then Fernandez said it weeks in a row, tenacity and quality and fearlessness. You know, he doesn't mind losing the ball as long as he tried to get somebody open or jumpstart an attack. And the chemistry between him and Martial, like even when they were both out of the game on the bench, they're like talking to each other, and you're like, oh, that's I noticed that. And then when the goal scored, they hug each other as if they're on the field. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that's good. This is good. That's the type of shit you want to see. Like these motherfuckers are communicating. He's only been there 3 to 4 weeks, and you could see like a friendship, like a real genuine friendship, and you need that to bring that on the field to help you operate. So that's beautiful. And
so in this,
go ahead.
So in this team, like the team that started against United, like looking forward, where do you think you need to make changes for next season? Like if you want to put this to a back four instead of a back three, so get rid of, I guess, Williams and you have one of Williams or Luke Shaw.
What do you mean get rid of Williams?
Like if you want to do a 4-3-3, 4 at the back, I was going to ask you, which positions do you think you need more players next season?
All right, this is the positions. Well, this is also going to make me continue to talk about this game and the players. So overall, we do need a backup for Wan Bissaka, right? On the other side of the field, we play 3. You know, we play 3 at the back. If we play 4 at the back, it could either be Shaw or Brandon Williams. Brandon Williams is just going to get better, right? So we're good on that side. But I always felt we needed, so, you know, and midfield, we have Matic, who doesn't have to play every game, so he's fresh. So, you know, the beauty of this team yesterday was like, when you look at Fred, Matic, and Fernandez, right? That is so much intelligence on the field, in the midfield for us. The most intelligence we've had at the same time consistently in a long time. You know, like people who can pass the ball to each other, people who don't panic, people who have composure and can see openings and gaps, you know? And so, you know, even everybody who's been shitting on Matic has given him credit. Now we have a Pogba, right? If we don't get to keep a Pogba, you know, we
get somebody else.
We use that money and try to get Grealish. I wouldn't say Grealish because he's on my friend's team, but Villa lost again today. And, you know, it feels like they're going to go down. So we have the opportunity to replace Pogba with somebody of quality if we lose him. And hopefully, if Villa goes down, hopefully we can get Grealish. Then we definitely need... But whether Pogba leaves or not, if he stays, we still need another midfielder. You know, we need some depth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want... Because... The beauty of yesterday's game. The beauty of yesterday's game is, the beauty of yesterday's game was when we had to sub, and I was like, I'm a Manchester United fan, but I was impressed with our subs. I was like, oh, we're bringing in Mctominay. Oh, we're bringing in. It's because we just never the amount of injuries we've had. Like when we had to sub before, it was like, man, it just brings you down. And then when we had to sub yesterday, I was like, oh shit. I sat up because we brought in like quality subs yesterday, you know? And then when you look on the bench, so we brought in Mctominay, we brought in Eric Bailly, who's a quality player, who, you know, and then Axel Tuanzebe's a quality player. He was injured. Like, we have people back, and we have Igalo, who me and you were talking about on the phone. Everybody was laughing around the league and around the world. Manchester United just bought Igalo, and quality, man. So far, quality. 3 goals, and in all the games he played, he has had an attempt on goal in just 3 to 10 minutes of play, and shown that he has quality. And this laughing stock of a buy turned out to be a good ass buy. So, and you have to give the Glazers and Ed Woodward, who everybody's shitting on, like, we're building this thing right. We got Maguire, we got Wan Bissaka, Daniel James had a great game yesterday. He stretched that fucking Man City defense and kept them honest. He keeps the ball, either takes a shot or makes a pass, and the passes are good. There was one pass he didn't make, but fuck it, we won the game anyway. And Mctominay, so
yeah, I mean, James is proving to be great value for the price you bought him for.
And this is his first season. He's been overworked, but he got a break because we bought Fernandez, and we were able to kind of rest him. So he's fresh yesterday, and yeah. So listen, when I say we need another midfielder, it's because I feel like Mata's at the end of his career, and I don't want to keep bringing in Mata into a game next year. I'd rather have, you know, we're going to still get injuries, but I want it to always be at the IQ of the 3 midfielders we have now. So if we keep Pogba, we add someone else of that strength to it.
Like an attacking midfielder?
Yeah. You know, or box to box, or, you know, and then just some quality, so that we're not injured and we're using Mata who's past his prime, you know.
Yeah, and like somebody up front.
Yeah, and somebody up front.
Guess.
Yeah, somebody up front. Yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be because you have Rashford coming back,
and then
you have Greenwood who's developing,
and then Greenwood's coming up. So this thing. Yeah. So, and then another thing, the fans were so into the game yesterday because it was a derby, but everybody's like seeing this thing now. You know, I don't know if you was here the week when Martin was here. I was like, I don't see it, and you guys are in trouble. But I saw it. I just want to say, hey man, I saw this thing, and we've had injuries. People been like shitting on Ali, and sometimes I get swept up into it and say, maybe he's not good enough, and you know, maybe he is, maybe he isn't. You know, but he's gonna get his chance to prove if he is or not. And you know, people don't calculate injuries when you're losing, but now that we're almost at full strength, you could see what we were lacking and why we lost some of those games. And you can't expect to, and I always said it, you can't expect to win games without your players. You know, look at you know, Spurs we're going to get to in a few. But yesterday was a great win because all the people who are fighting to overtake us for 5th had weaker opponents, and we beat the stronger opponent, and we kept our place. This is a well-earned 5th place spot that we got yesterday. And City did not field their strongest team either, so thank God for Champions League. They're worried about that, and Pep's team is banned for the next 2 Champions League so far. They're fighting appeal, and you could see even in the press conference before the game, or he was talking about the Champions League. He wasn't talking about this game. This game did not, and he got out of it what he put into it. You know what I mean? Like, he rested some people. He saved some people. This motherfucker wants the Champions League. He doesn't want to win the derby. He wants to win the Champions League. So, you know, do they play this week coming up? Because he treated this game as if they're playing this week coming up.
Yeah, they're playing. I think they're playing Real Madrid. No, I guess that's another week from now.
Let me see.
Let me just check. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Champions League.
It's tomorrow.
Yes, not this week though.
So what?
Is it? No, Madrid is on the 17th. 17th. So yeah, it's a week from now.
So why was he's? Well, they also have 3 Premier League games before Liverpool has won.
To make up, yeah.
Yeah. So he's more concerned about those for some reason.
Yeah, they have Arsenal and Burnley coming up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have Kevin De Bruyne injured.
Right.
And I guess, but apart from that, I think it got Phil Foden in. They were pretty much at full strength, weren't they?
Nah.
Who did not play?
Nah, I felt security when you see Caneo at back and not Walker, and Zinchenko instead of Mendy or somebody else, and then Otamendi and Fernandinho. I was like, this is good for us. And then when I saw like, this is not their best, like Gundogan, Hernandez,
Rodri,
this ain't it ain't their best. Like, that's not their best midfield at all. I'll take it.
The thing with Pep is he changes things so often. You never know what he's thinking, which is his best 11.
No, I know his best 11. His best 11 is Sterling, Aguero, Bernardo Silva, or also mix in David Silva, who wasn't there, featured yesterday, and then you can sub off Gabriel Jesus, and then you'd, the Laporte would be where Otamendi is, Walker would be where Caneo is, and then Mendy would be on the other side, and then you'd have Fernandinho in the middle, and I'm trying to figure out who the other two is that would be next to him. But yeah, this wasn't his strongest team, but I ain't gonna feel bad for him. We didn't have Rashford, we didn't have Pogba, and we've been injured all season, so we earned this.
Yeah. I mean, like I never feel bad when another team has the players missing. I'm like, good.
Yeah, we had to deal with that shit, so fuck it.
Serie, I feel like right now they're just kind of coasting through the Premier League.
Yeah,
and these are just training games for them.
Yeah,
if they want to win the Champions League.
Yeah, these are training games for the Champions League. Yeah,
which is great for the rest of the league.
I mean, we'll see. They don't want to make it too embarrassing. Pep doesn't like losing. You can tell by that press conference he had after, or just when they interview you right after the game. He's like skittish, like he was in the first season when he's like, I'm losing. I can't believe I just lost.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those interviews like, a team played good, and then you interview the players, and the players like, we played like shit. And he's like, he didn't want to throw his team under the bus. Yell. I mean, unlike, your boy Mourinho.
Mourinho, he threw another one of his players on the bus.
Yeah, I want to say, we'll get to that. Let's just say Leicester beat Villa today. 4-0 is embarrassing. They got shelled. Villa is they're just nominating themselves to go down. And, there's a big injury they have to McGinn, who's a great midfielder for them. And since he's been injured, the results ain't been great. They can't find scoring. Grealish is there. He didn't look great today either. And, but yeah, that sucks. But if you go down to Chelsea, that's your team, and you guys played, you guys won.
Everton. Kicked the hell out of Everton, which is like, I was not expecting that scoreline. I was expecting a similar performance because we've had these performances in the last couple of months. But it's always been when you do everything right, but we don't have the finishing touch to, put the ball back on the net. And this time, like, I've actually seen Mason Mount do that attempt a couple of times. And even this game, it started with a couple of nice moves and then 2 good shots, and they were saved by the goalkeeper. And I was like, oh no, here we go again. but finally the third one went in, and then the second one went in, and it was cruise control after that.
Yeah, you guys.
We had one shaky moment at the back. It was.
Now you guys played some sexy ass lingerie football, man. You went to Victoria's Secrets, got the right outfits, and like striptease all over this Everton team. And what color was the Everton jersey? Is that pink or like what color would you call that?
Watermelon.
Well, they played.
Watermelon, right? That's what it looks like.
Well, they should never play with that color again because they played as soft as that color. Like physically, they were as unimposing as it was like running around 8-year-olds. Like it was like playing cones, the cones in the passing drill. Yeah. Like nobody put a body on anybody. And I'm trying to figure out what Chelsea was doing to this team. And it was when I watched Match of the Day, and they were just saying, and just other shows like how and I was like, they were no physicality whatsoever from this Everton team with Duncan Ferguson sitting on the sideline, and it's Everton's physicality which has gotten them back into the conversation of a decent football team, and they came to London and act like they were in a china shop and they didn't want to break anything.
I felt like initially we were very worried about Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Their partnership has been working really nicely ever since Ancelotti took over, and they had those few moments where like they can do something, and it's like Zuma made a mistake, but then he did well to recover and stuff that the shot, Calvert-Lewin's shot went off. So I just feel like Chelsea playing good football. I feel like we played pretty, except for one guy who has completely changed the dynamics of the game. Billy Gilmour, 18-year-old kid.
Oh yeah.
He looks like the fifth kid in Peaky Blinders. the youngest kid, but he's been basically, when we play either Kante or Jorginho in those positions. With Kante, you kind of lose out on the passing side, and with Jorginho, as I was saying, you kind of lose out on the athletic, mobile side. Gilmour so far, he's doing both sides. So we're able to snuff out challenges before it gets to our back four, and we're actually doing something with that ball.
Let me tell you something, man. I text you midweek because I watched. You guys are on a good run. I watched the game. Was that FA Cup game against Liverpool?
Yeah.
And you guys won that game, and you contributed. And Liverpool didn't feel their strongest team, but neither did you. You guys experimented, and I said, let me watch this game. In the midweek, it was after the game had aired. I knew who won, but I said, let me watch this game. And then it's 1 in the morning. I'm watching this game, and I see this 18-year-old fucking kid, and I text you cursing you out that you guys got so much depth, and then you put so many other young people in that game, and Liverpool, like they had a right back named Williams who was pretty good, and then they had the other guy who scored for them in other
Curtis Jones.
Yeah. But that guy wants it. But Gilmour by far and above, like just smooth, just calm, just and then the stuff he did, he was man of the match in both games. I wouldn't necessarily have given him man of the match this Sunday, but definitely midweek against Liverpool. And to start against Liverpool, it wasn't their strongest team, but it was still a pretty damn good team. And to be that calm and not give a fuck and just smooth. And then I like what you did midweek too, like putting balls like over the top, pinpointing them to your wide players and stuff like that is pretty dope. Barkley's having
a good couple of games. So here's the thing: like we didn't field our first 11 because we don't have a choice. Like these are pretty much backups to our backups, that we are playing right now, because we have like 10 injuries and suspensions.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's not getting. Nobody's coming back anytime sooner. So this is what we have. So we have to work with this.
Congratulations! Like you have no drop off. Your backups are starters. Like Gilmour's a starter.
Yeah, but Gilmour is not the one I'm worried about.
Who you worried about?
The people I'm worried about, you know who I'm worried about.
I don't know. You can't be Willian, because Willian scored 2 goals against Liverpool. You can't stop his shots. This motherfucker, his shot is like, maybe, did he always have that shot?
Straight to Adrian, and Adrian,
I'd kick it.
Put it into the net.
What about the second goal he scored? And what about the goal he scored this week?
That was Barkley.
Willian didn't score this week? On weekend? No?
On the weekend he scored.
Yeah, and he scored midweek too. Yeah, I'm just saying, Willian, I would kick it straight to the goalkeeper too, because they're not going to hold that shot. That shot is fire. Yeah. That's like, yeah.
See, if Willian actually can stay consistent in the next 9 games,
he is consistent.
But I've never seen that happen in his 7 years at Chelsea. So I don't know what's going to change.
How many titles he got for Chelsea? How many titles?
He's won a lot of time as a rotation player.
Yeah, y'all are hard on William. Y'all are hard on who y'all hard on. Just the same way.
Well, I mean, he's got like he's scoring a goal or an assist every 200 and that's just not good enough. But anyways, I don't want to shit on him on this week, because he's actually really good.
Yeah.
But the thing with him is, he will take these shots from outside,
mm-hmm.
and they will go off once in a while. You want, as your senior winger, to have more of a percentage, like the way you look at the kind of goals that Salah, Mane, or Sterling and all score, City and Liverpool. You kind of, there is no Hail Mary. It's precise. Like you know, the person's there, and he's making it's very difficult for the goalkeeper to, stop it. So
I feel like he's out of position. I feel like he should be in midfield and not in he shouldn't be in that part of the 4-3-3. He shouldn't be in the 3. He should be in the 4-3 and not the 3. Yeah. And then the goals that he gets will be bonus. Right? But I feel like he does help you a lot.
Maybe.
I feel like
he's never played this. Yeah.
I feel like he does help you a lot. Defense. He's always moving, always.
Yeah. Oh, defensively, he would have made a great right back. Like, if he could have made that career switch 5 years ago, become a right back, because he has the legs and he has the crossing ability.
Yeah, he hasn't lost any speed. He's only getting faster. I saw him beat somebody today, this weekend. They couldn't even stop him.
Yeah. He might move to, another team in the Premier League. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they offered him a 2-year contract, you were telling me, but he turned it down.
Yeah, like this. I mean, this just makes me go insane, because we don't offer more than 1-year contract.
He deserves it.
30+.
Yeah.
He has the audacity. We didn't offer John Terry a 2-year contract. He has the audacity to turn down a 2-year contract. Like, that's just crazy. I mean, I'm happy because I want him gone, but apparently he wants a 3-year contract, which is just nuts.
Are you anything else you want to say about this Chelsea match?
It was good to see Kepa come back. Make those saves that he did.
Oh yeah, what do you think about that?
Who
do you think should be your goalkeeper?
We need to buy a new goalkeeper next season, but for now it has to be Kepa, because he's not 38.
Yeah, where is he messing up?
He has some flaws to his game which I don't think are gonna get any better. Like, he has no command in the box. Like, with Courtois and Cech before that, ball comes into the box, no worry, no tension. These 6'5" guys just go grab it. So maybe it's his height that's the problem. He's just just a little over 6 foot.
Right.
But even without that, I've seen goalkeepers like, Keylor Navas who have great command. Casillas, who are not that tall, but they have good command in the penalty box. What he does is he never comes out and relieves the tension. So then, there's a huge, because you have the hands, right?
Right.
You can do what other people cannot do. But if you refuse to do that, then there's more pressure on our defense to. And aerially, there's only one defender who was good enough, Zuma. So, a lot of our goals we've been conceding this season have just been on set pieces from crosses.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the shots, he gets a great hand to it, but it still goes through him. So that's, weak wrist. I don't know. I'm not a goalkeeping expert, but these are just some of the things that, you can just spot having seen goalkeepers like Courtois and Cech at the club before.
Right. I mean, you don't like a lot of Chelsea players that I like, but that's the only trend I'm noticing right here.
Do you like Kepa?
Do I like who?
Kepa?
Yeah, I like Kepa. I think he's a good goalkeeper. But
would you? I mean,
but I assume Lampard is not happy, and they will change him.
I think they will change him. He's not a terrible goalkeeper, don't get me wrong, but
right, I get that.
That's just such a position you can't take a risk. It's not like a winger who you can, rotate, or a striker who you can rotate while he's growing. You just can't take a risk with that position.
But yes, you can, because De Gea had to grow at Man U.
But De Gea was 20, 21 when he came to Man U. This guy's 25, 26.
Yeah.
Do players really grow a lot?
Yeah, he could grow.
Age?
Yeah, he could grow. Yeah, why not?
But I'm not willing to get on that ride as he keeps growing. Yeah.
Yeah, he could still grow, but you gotta want to be able to take that risk. Well, if you're done, I'll just say that Wolves and Brighton Hove tied, and which is great for Man U because we keep Wolves at bay. And we get 3 points, they only get 1. I did selfishly want them to beat Brighton Hove. I want Brighton Hove to drop points. I want them to actually get excavated out of the Premier League into the Championship because of them firing Chris Hughton. So, if there's any team, I'm rooting fully against Brighton Hove, and I just want the world to know that I am against Brighton Hove for them firing Chris Hughton, and I want them to have fired Chris Hughton and say, oh, we want to play better football, and then go down with their new coach who they hired to play this better football. And Brighton Hove. Yeah.
That was crazy though, why they fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what I want. That's just some personal shit. Sheffield United, they won. And they do what they do. They beat Norwich 1-0. Won't stay there long unless you got something to say.
I had a question, Sheffield United question for you.
Uh-huh.
Would you want to get back Dean Henderson, who's on loan from United, to be your starting goalkeeper?
It's tough because
next season.
Because I don't know if Henderson is better than Romero, and Romero's been excellent. So,
but Henderson's probably been the second best goalkeeper in the league.
Yeah,
after Alisson.
Yeah, I know, but that's what they're saying now. And then sometimes I think pundits say shit because, some of the stuff that pundits bring up, it's their job to bring it up, but it doesn't necessarily mean as much as they make of it. It's
he makes some crazy saves, man.
But so does Romero. Have you seen Romero? I watch, their games that they play in the Euros and the FA Cup and the League Cup, and he's been solid. You know what I mean? So it's like they're overlooking a step intentionally,
but
because they want to have this argument.
Because the reason I was asking you is because I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
Clubs trying to get him because he looks to be like one of those guys who's now proven now in the Premier League, and a lot of clubs like us who are looking for a new goalkeeper might want to get him.
Do you think Henderson is better than Kepa?
Yes.
Yeah. You know who should worry more about Henderson than De Gea? Pickford. Pickford should worry.
Pickford. I completely agree. Yeah.
So that's who you need to. That's if you're, that's who you worry more. I don't think Man U. De Gea would have to have another season like he's having now, and then we'll definitely consider that. It's like,
wasn't that already last season?
Yeah, but he established so much goodwill ahead of that. That's
true.
That they'll give him one more year, which may or may not be a mistake. So we'll see. This is like he's earned it, the goodwill. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me see how old De Gea is. Let me go to our lineup.
30.
I didn't even know goalkeepers last forever.
29, yeah.
So he's only 29. All right. I mean, listen, and if we're looking to buy players, if we bring in Henderson, sell De Gea, that's a lot of money. Use that money.
And he's free.
So what?
Henderson is free.
Yeah. And then we have this De Gea money, But I would let De Gea prove himself some more. I wouldn't rush to this,
Well, here's the thing.
I let Henderson prove himself some more. I wouldn't rush. Say again?
Again, no, goalkeepers last long, but goalkeepers don't really make comebacks, though, once they're past the age and they start trending down.
Right.
It's very rare for goalkeepers to, come back to the level they were before.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but if it is true, we have Henderson as backup.
Yeah, I just feel like this is going to be a decision you'll have to make this summer.
Why?
Because if you don't promise him a starting position, he might just want to leave because there's going to be a lot of suitors.
But he's going to want to play for Man U.
Not if you guys don't want him.
If we loan him out one more year, we have 1 year to. We don't have to make it that decision this summer. I don't feel like that. Like I don't know where that pressure came from. He had one good year in the Premiership. He just got to the Premiership, had one good year. Sheffield, I'm sure, is willing to loan him from us another season. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you can convince him, but if a much better club comes in and wants him to make him their first goalkeeper, he might just. You don't want to be stuck with Sheffield too long. You know what I mean?
Sheffield's doing fine, and it's a good thing. He's with a team that's protecting him too, so it's not like he's getting shelled every week. Like he's with a perfect team. Like they're almost as good as us. You know what I mean? So it's a perfect scenario for him. It's not like I'm dying to get out of here. This team is leaking. They have no defense. They have no this. No, it's perfect. It's not this team is not making him look bad. Let's go to so Tottenham loses again. I mean, they draw with Burnley, which is basically like a loss. And
do you see what Mourinho said after the game
about Ndombele?
Yes.
Well, first of all, he says I can't say, and then he did say. So that's the hilarious. And he kept on saying it, and he didn't want to say, but he said some players. What did he say? Have to learn. I think I have it here.
Players need to be better or something. Like they have to learn the pace of the Premier League.
Right. And he said he started criticizing the player without naming the player, but the main player he pulled at halftime was Ndombele, and he insisted that once Lo Celso got on the field, the team played much better in the second half than the first half. And by process of deduction, he's shitting on Ndombele. He's saying he's not up to speed. Like he's never played in the Premiership before. He hopes this player, Ndombele, who we all know it's Ndombele, because who else would you be talking to, is better next year, and blah, 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 blah. I for some reason, I don't think, because his rant was more composed than his past rants, that I don't think this is that bad. And even though Mourinho's not giving results, he's not raveling at the end of games in press conferences. But that doesn't give you points.
Yeah. And he went one step further. Like he said, the changes I made at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And just so that there was no ambiguity, he's like, and I'm not talking about Skip.
Right, because the person asked him about Skip the kid. And he'd look like an animal if he blamed this kid. He said, no, I'm not talking about Skip. He's young. He's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
But these results are terrible. These are
But I know both me and you have been in are from clubs that know what happens when Mourinho goes down this route.
I just don't think he's unraveling. Yeah, he's losing, but he's not unraveling. And he can say, listen, you don't want to make excuses. So Son is out, and Harry Kane is out. But I also just read an article on BBC that says Steven Bergwijn ankle injury means he is unlikely to play again this season. So this 22-year-old Netherlands winger who they just bought in the January transfer window and scored a few goals for them, he's out too. And so
Bergwijn, yeah.
So if he thought Ndombele was his problem, he might get injured out of anybody ever coach thinking on trusting him that he's ever a good coach. Like his whole legacy is in doubt right now as a coach. Like Mourinho's definitely falling, bro. But I'm glad
he said that.
Go ahead.
I think more than the Ndombele thing, the real horrible thing he said was, "I'm just waiting for June 1st or July 1st because he just wants the season to get over."
Right.
And I'm like, you still have 20 players under you.
Right.
That's not the message you want to give out to your players, that they're after, like, nobody's good enough. Like,
right.
You just want the season to end so you can buy some players.
Yeah, and listen, he's probably rooting for the coronavirus right now in that case, if that's how he feels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, let's shut this whole thing down. But if you can't coach these guys, you won't be able to coach the guys you think you're gonna buy. You're just not gonna be able to.
Yeah, that's true.
So I just think he's definitely lost some shit as a coach, and I don't know. I wanna go faster because time is coming up. So Arsenal won. They look good. They pulled off a thing where I think they won 1-0, and they didn't let any goals in, and they just played determined. And this Arteta system is working, and it's he's doing what they brought him here to do.
I didn't get to watch the game, but it seems like they have more of a identity now. Yes. Which is, you can slowly see the Emery identity going away, and the Arteta playing more like an Arteta, or like Pep team, because nobody really knows what is Arteta's style of football, except for he's Pep's assistant manager for a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, with Arteta, effort is non-negotiable. There are non-negotiables, and if you ain't doing the non-negotiables, which I believe is like effort, like even forwards come back to defend. Because when Pep was coaching Barcelona, he had to, Messi had to come back and defend. So just effort when David Luiz is making less mistakes and actually doing his job, non-negotiables.
He's improved them, yeah.
Yeah. So I think next season you'd have to worry about Arsenal for sure, because they're gonna get to buy some players. Yeah, and then those players are gonna have to, you know. And West Ham loses again, and Moyes, fuck it, and Crystal Palace won. They beat Watford. Watford, like, you know, they hung over from beating Liverpool, so they couldn't get past Crystal Palace, and they dropped points. And then Newcastle wins. They beat Southampton. Southampton got a red card early, I forgot where they got the like in the 28th minute, and St. Maximum scored in the 79th. St. Maximum's a really good player, man. St.
I like him. Yeah. He seems to be like that guy who, you know, works his way up the league.
Yes. He's
like how Mane did.
Yeah. He's the guy. He reminds me of the type of guy, if Liverpool was in the stages they were in 2 years ago, they would have buy him this season. Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the season. Yeah. He's that guy.
I think like Arsenal or Spurs might want to buy him.
Right. Shit, we should want to buy him.
I thought you guys have your eyes set higher, like the Jadon Sancho or something.
Nah, I mean, this guy can become as good as... Yeah, this guy could become those guys, you know. He's very effective. Yeah, he works hard. He's elusive. He's fast. He fits... Yeah, man. Like, you know, everybody's gonna be going for Jadon Sancho. Let's look at some St. Maximum. You know what I'm saying? Who's next? So Southampton, Newcastle, they lost. Brighton Hove, they tied with Wolves. West Ham, they lost to Arsenal 1-0. Watford lost to Crystal Palace, so they're 27. Bournemouth lost to Liverpool, so they're in 27. Villa lost to Leicester, and Norwich lost to, Sheffield United? So that's
Norwich is gone, by the way.
So what?
Norwich is out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. So there's a Cantwell will be for sale. You know, it's funny. Bournemouth is in 18th. They're in the relegation zone, but Watford has the same amount of points, and so does West Ham. And Villa, they're in 19th place, but they have a game in hand. So, but that game is one of those games is against you guys. So.
Oh yeah, actually next week is against us.
Right. So yeah, what's the big game?
So you want to make them stay there.
Yeah. Or do you guys have blips? You do kind of.
What's that?
Do you guys have blips where, like?
Yeah, I mean, every other game is a blip.
Yeah. Well, next week
we just don't have the players that we can trust to do anything based on what they've done in the past.
You do. You got Gilmour. You got Willian.
Gilmour's the only guy I trust.
You got Giroud. Giroud is firing in all cylinders now. He's happy to be out there.
I mean, I know he's happy to be out there, but here's the thing. Like, every time I look at these guys, I can't ignore what they've done in the past, right? Because magically, nobody's going to become a whole new player.
Right, but what did Giroud do yesterday? And what did he do midweek?
He was really good.
This is present.
He was really good, but here's the thing. Like, when we talk about, finishing chances, that's not really his strong point either. So we just have to create, like, if we need 10 chances to score one goal, we'll have to create like 20 chances.
Yeah, so do your job.
We just have to bombard. But like, there are other teams who create like 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. They have players who are like, including Liverpool.
But there
have been games.
This is just experience. You guys, like next season. Yeah, next season, like there's a lot of shit to look out. You got to look out for Manchester United. You got to look out for Arsenal. You got to look out for Chelsea. Like this season, right? This season, I was looking out for Leicester, Wolves, and who else was I looking out for? Possibly Everton. So this season, I was looking out for those teams. Next season, I was looking out for the teams outside of the normal top 6 to enter the top 6, and that's happening. Next season, I'm looking for the regulars to be back.
Well, who's
strong?
Well, it's still Wolves is in number 6 right now,
right.
But either Wolves or Sheffield, one of them will get to the top 6.
Let me see. How far is there's enough games for Arsenal to climb back in there, because Wolves is only 3 ahead of them, and Sheffield also got 40 points and a game in hand.
I don't think either Arsenal or Spurs are gonna, get back into the conversation.
Oh, I didn't say Spurs. I said Arsenal. Arsenal's only 3 points behind Wolves. They
still have the same issues.
So but it's apparent they got Sacco, who's playing great defensively, and he's springboarding their attack. This kid is like they got a free player that you'd have to go buy and like hope that he fit in, and he's doing it. And then the other defenders are getting their shit together, because it's embarrassing to have some kid come out of the academy and just be showing y'all what y'all should be doing. And this guy, like, there are some new players in the league that are playing like they've been playing for 5 years, like Fearless, like him, the Gilmours. Reece James. Even Brandon Williams. I think Brandon Williams is a little bit behind them, but mentality-wise, like fearlessness, boom. There's like, I've never seen a season like that where teams have been like, actually using their youth system as much as they have, and people are coming through, man. It's
almost every club has a bunch of folks coming through.
Yeah, so it's great. I think Chelsea has a really good youth system. I don't know about Man U's, because even when they put Chung on the field or Gomez, they are not showing up the way the Chelsea guys have showed up. The Mounts and the Gilmours and the Reece Jameses and whoever else I can't remember, but
I think if you see like Chelsea's youth team's record over the last 5 or 6 years, it's kind of like, it's not really a surprise, because they won like 5 FA Cups in a row, a couple of leagues, won 2 UEFA Youth Leagues, and got to the final and the semi-finals a couple of times. So it was just that we never had a manager. Like this generation that's coming in today, it's not new. We've had such players in the last 5 seasons. We just never had a manager who believed in using any of them.
Right.
So, this whole, the move to get, Frank and Jody Morris and all those guys it was kind of a make or break season for the academy. Yeah. Because all of these guys were looking forward to leaving. Because we knew we're just not going to have a manager who's going to use them.
The transfer ban saved you guys a lot of embarrassment, because if these players ended up in the league, other places, and being stars and coming back to play against you and beat you, that would have been embarrassing. So, hey man, sometimes
I always believe that
sometimes you got to buy an underage boy, and get a ban.
No, I've always, if you really see the way it happened, it was more than the transfer ban, the choice to have Frank Lampard. We could have easily gone one Sarri left and gone some other, Allegri or somebody.
Right. Yeah.
And they would have again not used. This was a thing that was bubbling under the surface for a while. To the push from the club to use more youth players, and it was kind of the perfect storm. I don't think the transfer ban was as much as the trigger as the fact that
I think it helped.
Sarri decided to do it. leave.
I think it helped. Like if you can't buy, who you gonna use? When you gonna get your debt from? You know, I mean, I think all of it that you're saying works, but you know, it's like you can't buy, so we gotta have to use these guys. You know, and then the ban ended, and then Lampard, you know, he's mad that you guys didn't buy anybody in the window, but you know, I guess you do need a forward, so I get it.
Yeah, so he even you'll see even now in the summer, we'll only be buying players in positions where we don't already have like a striker, for example.
Yeah, you didn't need striker.
Or a winger. Mm-hmm. And like he bought Hakim Ziyech, we don't have a promising right winger in the academy. Mm-hmm. So I think it's going to be very pointed, like a goalkeeper maybe.
Right.
And a left back, we don't have a promising left back in the academy. So we're not going to be going and spending in positions where we already have these players.
Right.
They're going to continue getting their chances.
Right. What else? So there's Champions League. This is the last days of Champions League. So tomorrow, Tottenham will play Leipzig, and I don't know. I would just give this to Leipzig because Tottenham is just in terrible form. You know, it's like how are they? I mean,
and then at home.
And they're home. I mean, fine, Tottenham could win, but they have no scoring. They just lost Bergwijn. Mourinho's like, yeah. So I would just go Leipzig on this. Red Bull.
Yeah. I'd say Leipzig. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Valencia versus Atalanta. Atalanta actually beat, I think, Valencia.
Yeah, 4-1.
Yeah.
Smashed them.
So that's going to be tough for Valencia to come back from. I don't know what type of personnel they got. I don't know them like that, but that's tough to come back from.
Atlanta has one of our guys on loan, Mario Pascalic, and I'm kind of looking forward to watching him.
Yeah. He's a what? One of your guys on loan? Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He scored a goal in the last leg, in the previous leg.
Oh, damn.
Goal scoring midfielder.
Shit. Yeah. And then PSG versus Dortmund. PSG lost that first match. But, all right, Neymar, you're fit. You're in shape. You guys just won a midweek match, like 5-0, no, something like that. You can't say the club didn't make you, they rested you too much and expected you to come back. And even though I don't think that was a big complaint of his, he's just explaining his stance. Everybody think he's throwing the club under the bus. Like everybody's sensitive. Everybody's like looking for something so much. Anything you say is something more than it is sometimes. So, for some reason I'm rooting for PSG on this.
I mean, I kind of want Dortmund because, you know, why would he want PSG to do good?
Why not? Because they suffered in this tournament so long. And like, you know, I'd rather see PSG play than Dortmund if my team ain't playing.
I think Dortmund, you know, the fact that they have that young project going on, it just excites me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a great game because they both are, because this is it. They need to force the issue in this leg. And I think this is going to be one of those closed doors games. Yeah.
All right. And then another reason why I don't believe in Dortmund is because they're going to sell all their players soon. So I can't get attached to a team. This is like Dortmund is like an advanced Ajax team. You know what I mean? They're in a league that's more advanced than the Dutch league, and so they're just not committed to, you know. The good thing is like, you know, I always heard about like Hazard's brothers, and what's his name? Thorin Hazard is actually like might be the real deal, and he's playing for Dortmund too. So so that's good for the Hazards.
We had him too, you know.
Yeah, great job, guys.
We had him too. Yeah. Sent him out on loan and then sold him.
Well.
Yeah.
And then Atletico Madrid versus Liverpool. I think Liverpool will come back from that 1-0 loss and overturn that. Yeah. And they gotta reach that Atletico Madrid stadium that they played in. Like those fans really put their team on their back, but they won't be there this week. And I think, Liverpool, when they're down and their fans, I know their fans
can do the
same. They might Barcelona the shit out of Atletico Madrid.
I was speaking to Liverpool. A friend of mine is a Liverpool fan, and so we're talking about the whole coronavirus thing. He's like, "Dude, just get us till Wednesday."
Yes, yeah.
I don't care how many people die after that.
Keep the stadiums packed till Wednesday to get past Atletico Madrid, and then you can close doors and do whatever, and Liverpool will take it from there. Yeah,
because they need that stadium to win.
Yeah, they need that stadium to win this. Yeah. Let me see. Make sure go through all these tabs. So, have you been to any MLS games?
No, but I saw parts of the Inter Miami's first game.
Right.
With this LAFC.
Mm-hmm. And
it was I think for me, more like the thing that really excites me about MLS is the whole fan community thing. The fact that there are such big fan groups and crowds selling out
right
at these stadiums more than the actual football.
More than actual football. I mean, you got to get things right before you get all the things right. So, there's a lot of good teams with great fan bases. LAFC is one of them. I went yesterday to the game, and it was against Philly, and it's a funny game. I missed 2 of the goals because halftime we went to meet up with some friends, and by the time we got back to our seats, we missed 2 goals, but we still saw 4 goals because the game was 3-3. So the game was 3-3. So a bunch of goals. Like Philly kept on making LAFC trail, but they kept on coming back. And then at the last minute of the game, LAFC had a chance, but the keeper went down and saved it. I got to say, there's a lot of divers on Philly. They'll tackle you and then go down for 5 minutes. The halftime had 8 minutes added on.
Oh, damn.
At halftime. To end the half, it was 8 minutes added on. And then at the end of the game, in the second half, there was 6 minutes added on. It's every time the goalkeeper...
That's an extra time. Half-time and extra time.
Say again?
That's 14 minutes, which is pretty much half-time and extra time.
Yeah, exactly. It's Philly, stay up. Stay up, Philly. Stop pretending you're injured. What are you doing? Stop. I know you love California. You don't want to go home. And I heard, and you want to stay in Cali as long as possible, but get the fuck up. And then I was with my friend Fahim, and there was people in the LAFC fan base booing the Philly players when they were down, and Fahim was like, "That's because LA people know bad acting, and you're not injured." Yeah.
This Carlos Vela still there?
Yeah, he scored a free kick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he scored a free kick. Let me see if they break it down the same way, because let me get the scorers. Where is it? The LAFC. Oh, here it is. So the lineups. So Rossi scored, Vuela scored, and Segura scored. That is not Tom Segura. That is a soccer player. So yeah, he scored on a free kick, and he scored against Miami for the winner against Miami. So So Seth, thanks for the hookup. It's great atmosphere. Rolled it there with Fahim, and I'm also going to try to get some comics from All Things Comedy if they want to come to some games, like Bill, Al, Segura, and Tripoli. Come out to some games. All right, cool. Anything you want to plug? I think that's all the tabs. I did all the tabs.
Yeah, no, I had a question on. So Galaxy keeps getting these big money players, right?
Yeah, now they got Chicharito.
Is that just because they got Chicharito now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that just they have a different model, or like? Because I don't see LAFC. Oh, they got Rossi. Okay.
Well, LAFC had a chance to get Ibrahimovic, but they decided not to when they started because they didn't want to be Ibrahimovic's team. They wanted to be LAFC.
Okay. So that's just a different philosophy.
So their philosophy worked out, and they got Vuela, he's Mexican, and there's a lot of Mexican citizens here, and they come out to the game, and it's a melting pot, and it's just they went in the lab and they mixed the whole thing right, and it's working, so it's dope.
I think it's great. Yeah, I should get that subscription.
Yeah. So
yeah, thanks for having me on, and you can follow me at Suarez Lawyer, and my shows and stuff is all on neilchakravarty.com.
Oh yeah.
I have links on my social media, so.
All right. And thanks for coming on, and you've been great. It's great that we did this last minute and shit.
Yeah, that was so crazy. Yeah.
I know I was gonna have to do this thing solo, which is fine, but it was good to kick it back and forth because I need, you gave me like a lot of information and shit. And then for me, come check out the last pre-coronavirus shows. I'll be in Tampa at Side Splitters this weekend from Thursday, March 12th to Sunday, the 15th. I'll be in Calgary, March 25th to the 28th at the Laugh Stop. It should be at the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and that's April 16th at the Comics Lounge. Sydney at the Sydney Comedy Festival, the April 20th, and Austin Moon Tower Festival, 23rd to the 25th, and House of Comedy in Vancouver, April 30th to May 3rd, and the Grand Gerard in Toronto, May 8th. These are all optimistic dates because we don't know what the fuck is going to be going on. But hopefully, there's more dates. If you go to ianedwardscomedian.com, check out those dates. If you don't come out and you want to play it safe, my album 100% Half-Assed is available. You can buy it there. I'm going to have some also t-shirts soon. So that's his soccer comic rant. So those are going to be coming soon. Listen to the album in the safety of your own, what did they quarantine? You know what I'm saying? You could do that. And
self-quarantine.
Yeah. And listen to the podcast. My podcast.
Somebody had to.
Go ahead.
I was saying somebody had to get self-quarantined on Air Force One today. Somebody who was in close contact with Trump.
There's so many things I could say, but I'm gonna shut up.
Because he was in touch with somebody who was detected with coronavirus. So.
Oh yeah.
We got to 1 degree of separation.
Was it Pence?
No, Pence doesn't touch anybody.
That's hilarious. So he's good.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah,
he's good. Brungardt, what's up, man?
Hey, still no coronavirus here.
How do you know? Have you got a testing kit over there? How many times are you using it?
Just got to be sure.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. So, anything you want to promote?
Yeah, sure. Just go to Hilarious on Twitter. I got a little political around Super Tuesday. But I've also retweeted some jokes. So
that's hilarious. Well, thanks for your help, brother.
Yeah.
And thanks to all Hookup. And thank you all for listening. Be safe out there. Normally I say be safe, love each other. But this is a great time to love each other and be safe and wash your hands. And, just be who knows what to say in a time. Just be safe, be careful, love you, and yeah, man, we'll see what happens with this thing. One.
Yeah, on the other side.